You know that feeling, right? The toilet won't flush, a light flickers out, or the air conditioning decides to give up on the hottest day of the year. Yep, things break. So today, we're going to get into the essential English you really need to talk about fixing them, whether you're trying to figure out a problem at home or explain what's gone wrong at the office. Okay, so just picture this for a second. You walk into work on a Monday morning, and right away you notice the air conditioning's dead. A little later, you find out the bathroom is totally out of order. And then, by the afternoon, the lights in the conference room start flickering and just die. It feels like the whole place is just, well, yeah, that's the phrase, isn't it? Falling apart. It just perfectly captures that feeling when it seems like everything is going wrong all at once. It's actually the perfect setup for us to explore the language of repairs. So when an entire office is falling apart, who on earth do you call?
Well, you call in the hero of our story, the handyman. This is the person, that special someone who comes in to make everything right again. But what does it actually mean to be a handyman? To put it simply, a handyman is a professional who fixes stuff. But really, it's more than that. They're the ones who handle all those little, general jobs, those small but absolutely crucial repairs that keep a place from, falling apart. Think of them as the ultimate go-to person for a whole bunch of everyday problems.
Now, this is a really important difference to understand. A handyman is what we'd call a generalist. They're not like a specialist, say a plumber who only works with pipes, or an electrician who only deals with wiring. Nope, a handyman can handle a little bit of everything. They've got a really broad set of skills for all kinds of different jobs.
All right, let's get back to our office where everything is broken. Each one of these problems is a perfect chance for us to learn some really key vocabulary. So first up, we've got a very, very common and super frustrating problem.
The dreaded clogged toilet. The key phrase here that you're going to want to remember is clogging up. You will hear this one a lot in everyday life, so let's be super clear on what it actually means.
So, the main idea here is a blockage. When a pipe or a drain clogs up, it means that pathway is blocked. Something is stuck, and it's stopping water or whatever from passing through. And that creates a backup, which, as we all know, is never, ever a good thing.
And here you can see just how useful this phrase is. It's not just for toilets. Your kitchen sink can clog up with old food. A shower drain can totally clog up with hair. And, as we're about to find out, even things on the outside of a building can clog up.
Okay, so the next disaster in the office isn't about plumbing, it's about electricity. The phrase here is circuit breakers keep going out. This is another one of those headaches you might run into at home or at work. A circuit breaker is basically a bodyguard for your electricity. It's a safety switch. If there's too much power flowing through the wires, it trips or goes out to stop any damage or even a fire. It's that box in your basement or a closet where you have to go and flip a little switch back on when the power suddenly dies in one room.
And here we are at our final problem. See, I told you that phrase clogged up would make a comeback. This time, it's the gutters. And the result? A flooded parking lot. So what in the world are gutters?
Gutters are those channels you see running right along the edge of a roof. Their entire job is to catch rainwater and guide it away from the building so it doesn't cause damage. But when they get clogged up with leaves and gunk, that water has nowhere to go but straight over the edge, and that's how you end up with a big problem, like a flood.
Okay, so we've looked at all the problems. We've diagnosed the situation. Now let's look at the language we use to talk about actually solving them. These are some really great natural phrases for talking about how tasks are being managed.
So when someone asks about that broken air conditioner, this is the answer they get. Dan is on top of that. It's a really simple phrase, but wow, it says a lot. It projects confidence and control.
When you're on top of something, it means you know about the problem, you're actively managing it, and you're doing what needs to be done to fix it. It's a fantastic way to say, don't worry, I've got this handled. Super useful phrase to have, especially at work. Now, since the handyman is already coming over to deal with that clogged toilet, someone makes a smart suggestion. They might as well ask him to fix the electrical wiring. So what does might as well mean here? Might as well is all about convenience. It's about seizing an opportunity. It basically means, hey, since this is already happening, let's just take advantage of the situation and do this other thing too. It's a suggestion based on being efficient.
So after listing all of these problems, the toilet, the circuit breakers, the gutters, this is the conclusion they come to. The handyman definitely has his work cut out for him.
Oh yeah, this phrase perfectly captures the huge size of the job.
If you have your work cut out for you, it just means you're facing a really big, really challenging task. And with everything that's broken in this office, our handyman certainly does.
And all of this brings us to another really common term for a person who has a wide range of skills, someone just like our handyman, who's ready to take on a long list of completely different problems.
A jack of all trades is another fantastic way to describe a handyman. It's someone who can do a little bit of everything pretty well. You know, maybe they can fix a leaky pipe, but they can also repair a fence or paint a room. They've got a lot of different skills.
And that word, trades, is really important. A trade is a skilled job that you usually learn through hands-on experience or maybe an apprenticeship, not by going to a 4-year university. We're talking about plumbers, electricians, carpenters. These are all essential, highly skilled trades.
And that leaves us with one final question to just think about. In a world where things seem to be breaking all the time, which of these practical skills do you think is the most valuable one to learn? Is it plumbing? Electrical work? Maybe something else entirely? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.